boys and I are marooned for 48 terrifying hours at Fort Delaware, a paranormal prison for the spirits of thousands of Confederate soldiers trapped here by a surrounding moat and river. We finished our first night's investigation, and Porter's been poring over our recordings to see if we captured any evidence. All right, boys, Fort Delaware hadn't disappointed. I mean, we've gotten a lot of activity, but have we got any evidence to show for it?
We had stuff going on right away. This first piece of evidence, it was in the officers' prison cells, and as we tried to stir up some activity, look what our cameras caught here.
My great-great-grandfather was a captain in the Confederacy. He was part of 8 campaigns and 24 battles. His regiment was also involved in the Shelton-Laurel Massacre in North Carolina, where Confederates looking for hideouts of Union sympathizers oversaw the torture and ultimate execution of 13 suspected civilians, with 27 more being killed in a shootout. Among the victims was 13-year-old David Shelton, who survived the first barrage of gunfire during his execution and clutched at the leg of one of the officers. "You've shot me in both arms," he said. "I forgive you all of this. I can get well again. Let me go home to my mother." In response, David was shot 8 more times. 30 years after the war, my great-grandfather joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans, an organization dedicated to preserving the honor and history of the defeated Southern country, promoting revised narratives and myths of the lost cause and the South's defense against Northern aggression. My grandfather grew up among this organization, and although he never became a member, he maintained connections and friendships with the group throughout his life. Today, the Sons of Confederate Veterans are dwindling in number, and their members are increasingly older. Their gatherings are often slow and somber, as they mourn the loss of Southern heritage and history in a country now reflecting on its past and seeking the removal of Confederate monuments from public space. Beyond the last 150 years of propaganda, lies, and hate, I can't help but sense this deep existential sadness in these men and the futility in their attempts to hold on to the past as time just unflinchingly moves on. There is an uncanniness in seeing these figments of the past where they shouldn't be. These unsettled spirits breaching the laws of time to haunt the present. I felt this strange urgency when I attended one of these services. The sense that I was surrounded by ghosts. That I was on this sinking ship and needed to leave before I was dragged down to my death. Before I could escape to the future. When I think about my family and its history in the South, I wonder if I can distinguish between personal and political, between nostalgic memories and uncomfortable truths. I wonder if I can remember their lives without the legacy of the Confederacy. I want to pull them from this sinking ship, to save their memory from the erosion of time and the sway of cultural change. I want to hold on to them without being pulled into purgatory myself and left behind with all the other ghosts. house my grandfather built had raised 4 generations. It was demolished this year.
It must have been beautiful.
Oh, it was, Johnny. It was all white when I was a little girl.